So this here is Christopher Columbus, a man of very complicated legacy in the way we view him today. In 1892, the 400th anniversary of his discovery of America, that wasn't the case. In the sense in 1892 was near universal to celebrate Columbus as a hero, and hero or villain or just another complicated figure, whatever your opinion on Columbus, there's no denying the incredible impact of his accidentally bumbling into our half of the world in 1492. In 1892, the 400th anniversary, there was a great spirit of celebration, and this overlaps with our period and with the emerging sense of the need for the United States to acquire an empire, much as, starting with Columbus, the Spanish did. Here we're looking at the Spanish Empire at its absolute peak, which was, so this is the territory held by the Spanish Empire as of 1790. 300 years after Columbus, Spain controlled so much of our half of the world. After 1790, the territory began to whittle away as much of Latin America won its independence from Spain, to the point where by the dawn of the 20th century, the only American territory still held by American, I mean the Americas, the Western Hemisphere, the only Spanish territory still held over here was Cuba. And this should perk up our ears if you're part of our school here in Florida, because here in Florida, we're closer to Cuba than we are to most of our own nation. So when it came about that the Cubans, like the rest of Latin America, wanted their independence from Spain, we were very sympathetic to that as a nation forged in our own battle of independence from a massive foreign empire. And reports came back that the way the Spanish occupiers were reacting to the Cuban independence movement was not just with resistance, but with particular cruelty and crimes against humanity, we would call them today. American opinion more and more turned to the notion that we, the United States, should step in and aid Cuba in its war to overthrow the Spanish occupiers. But the President of the United States, William McKinley, was very, very hesitant. He did not want to get us involved in a foreign war. One of the major turning points in President McKinley's attitude was he sends one of our newest naval battleships, the USS Maine, to sit off the coast of Cuba and just kind of watch and report back on what's going on. But on February 12th of 1898, the Maine explodes, killing over 250 American sailors. Now, most historians today will tell you that explosion was probably due to some sort of internal problem on the Maine and not to Spanish sabotage, and yet at the time it is reported by the newspapers as a Spanish attack on Americans. And the newspapers cry, "Remember the Maine, remember the Maine, to hell with Spain." And then there's no stopping it. Once U.S. Americans feel like we've been attacked on our own territory, President McKinley is now powerless to stop war, and so he asks Congress for a declaration of war. To hear the story of the Spanish-American War, check out the next video.